This is Jeff. I've created Rainmaker a while back, and I've gotten some requests to add two-dimensional rain. Particle systems in two-dimensional world for Unity are a little bit tricky because the orthographic size kind of messes up the size of your particle systems. And so in order for this to work, I had to add some special code to change the size of the rain and the mist and the explosions based on the orthographic size. That way it looks about the same regardless of what your camera's orthographic size is. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate two-dimensional rain here for you. I'm going to go ahead and play my scene here. This is the demo scene for 2D. You can notice I have a wind zone here. By default, wind is enabled, but you can turn that off with this checkbox. That'll shut down the wind. I'm going to leave it on so you can see the rain. So same as the 3D scene, as you increase this slider, the rain quantity increases higher and higher. There's a threshold, I think it's halfway, where the mist starts appearing. That's configurable, which I believe is this rain mist threshold. Yeah, it's set to 1/2. You can kind of see the rain and the mist is going pretty good here. I'm going to crank it all the way up here. You can see the wind is affecting the rain and the mist heavily. I can always turn that off to just get flat rain, but that's kind of boring, so I'll leave the wind on. Now about that orthographic size, let's go ahead and change the camera's orthographic size and see what that does. So if I zoom out by making my orthographic size higher, you can see that the rain and the mist looks about the same. Now I'm way zoomed out from the world, so it looks a little funny, but the raindrop size and the collision splash and the mist is the same size as it was at orthographic size 4. So if I go back, you can see that we've got the exact same size. So I think that'll be really useful for you in your games, so you don't have to fuss or care about that orthographic size. Now you'll notice that the rain's not going all the way to the bottom of the screen here. There's a collision going on. And I have enabled collisions by setting the collision mask to everything. Now you don't have to do that if you just want the rain to fall to the bottom of your game. That's fine. Just set that collision mask to nothing. But I'm going to turn it back to everything. Now I've gone through on my background here, and you can see these lines here. I've actually kind of traced out the lines of these hills as a collision mask. Now you may be wondering, well, why aren't the explosions lining right up here on the edge of my hills here? Well, that's because I have a special parameter that allows the rain to penetrate just a little bit to give yourself a little bit of extra depth feeling. And that's this parameter here, the collision lifetime for rain. When a raindrop collides, the collision lifetime gets set to about this value. It's set to 20 milliseconds now, which basically gets it an extra frame. But I can increase that, and you can kind of see how the rain now more or less collides with the whole scene. Or if you just wanted it to collide just above the bushes, you could tweak that a little bit. You can also tweak this rain mist collision multiplier, which allows the mist to penetrate a little bit further down. So as you change these two values, you'll want to just line those up so that both look nice. The mist is probably still going a little bit too far, and that's pretty good right there. So those are some of the properties. What else do we have going on here? All the rest of these are very similar from the 3D one. The wind, the intensity, the particle systems, all basically work the same as the 3D version, except I've gotten rid of the Z axis and I've handled the orthographic size for you. I guess I'll go over these two properties here. The rain height multiplier, you can see where the rain is starting up above the world. This is a percentage of world height, so basically I take the top of the screen here, and based on the height of the world, in this case I take 15% of the world height and I go up that amount, and that's where the rain starts. So if I set this really high, the rain's going to go up way high. You can see there in the preview view up here. And if I set it back, it'll start just slightly above. We've got rain width multiplier. That's in case your wind is really high and you want to make sure that the rain still looks nice. Like if I set this to 5, you can see that my rain is way spread out now. And so you don't really need it that high. 1.5 is probably going to be good for most purposes, and so I would suggest just leaving it at that. Anyway, I think you'll really enjoy this for your two-dimensional games. It should be really extensible, so if you wanted snow, for example, you could just duplicate this prefab and change the rainfall particle system to some snow. And with a little bit of tweaks, you'd have two-dimensional snow pretty easy. So have fun with that, play with that. Feel free to email me at jjextra@gmail.com. It's also in the asset description, and I'd love to answer your questions. Thank you.